But you mentioned something else in your answer, Dilipji, so which I would like to first help to define for the sake of our audience who may not have read the book yet. Explain to us what we mean by Abrahamic religions and what we mean by dharmic religions. Please help us understand that.
There are two major surviving religions. One coming from Arabia, and that is first came the Judaism. Later came Jesus, and after that, Bible was written. And then later came Muhammad, and Quran was revealed. So those three, maybe three different religions, but they carry more or less a lot of similarities between them. They believe in the same God, and so many similarities there. Versus there are four dharmic faiths, and that is Hinduism, then came Buddhism, Jainism, and last came is Sikhism. Again, those are four independent religions, but all of them ultimately, one time they were all Hindus, and ultimately they start following one or other one. And again, all those four have a lot more similarities. But at the same token, the dharmic concepts and the Abrahamic concepts, they're quite different in many respects. And one of them is the exclusivity. The Bible clearly says that you want to go to heaven. Jesus said, you have to only come through me. You have to be baptized only if you want to go to Jesus on the judgment day. And you will see so many signs in America, all over roads, that Jesus saves. What they mean to say that you better get baptized, you still have time. And then later on come Islam, and Islam was there theologically speaking, but
historically,
the Quran was Quran was revealed, and that is again Muslim believes that Islam is a true faith, and probably in Quran several ways it says that whatever the Christian teaching, that is Jesus is a human form of God, and that is not acceptable. So those are three: exclusivity, faith, and there is a clear reason. You have to be clearly make a difference that are you with us or against us? And meaning, if you are Christian, then you must be baptized.
Right.
If you are Muslim, you have to take an Shahadat oath that yes, I am with God. And then once you are Muslim, you cannot say I am a Muslim Christian. Meaning I'm following Saturday, Sunday I'm going to church, and Friday I'm going to mosque. That's not a concept. Versus in dharmic faiths, there is no distinction. If you ask me today that I want to convert to Hinduism, I say, I don't know. Why you want to convert to? Meaning that concept doesn't exist. And in India, I have seen Hindus and Muslims and Jains, and they are proud of their Hindu, Jains, and Sikhs and Buddhists. They are proud of their religion, but they never try to convert others.
Yeah.
You are there, yeah, okay, be there. I will come to your Gurudwaras and I will come to Jain mandirs. I know many in Gujarat, many Hindu Jain marriages. They marry, nobody asks for conversions ever. They follow one or other faith, some follow 70-30% here, there, more or less. They go to Gurudwaras and all that. So that's what I had seen all along in my life. Once I come to America and I realized that, my God, what is this conversion business? And I find it really, it just doesn't make sense to me. When you are in college, you start dating somebody from other faiths, and you'd say, Rara, yeah, I respect your faith and all that. And just before marriage, you say, now you have to change your religion. And still Hindus are in confused state that they think, oh, I love Jesus, no problem. I will convert to baptism, no problem. I will accept Jesus. In Hindus' mind, they says, well, I have 100 gods I've prayed to. Jesus, come on over, no problem. And they accept, and they promise the other Christian party or Muslim party that yes, I will accept Muhammad, I will accept Allah, and I will accept Bible. Except there, the other party will have says, now you have to give up your all 100 Hindu gods and you have to stop being Hindu. And that's where the problem starts.
Indeed.
And that is a common problem in all interfaith dating. Dating goes fine. As soon as the marriage comes, now you have to make up a decision, one or the other, not both.
Right. Yes.
So
So in
that's where the
other,
problem comes.
indeed. So in other words, Dilip ji, what I can understand is that the Abrahamic faiths, which come from West Asia, they all have very strict parameters about who gets to be inside the club or outside of it. Whereas for
Correct.
the Dharmic faiths, it's a lot more fluid and there's no concept of conversion because it is not, these are not faiths that get proselytized or, preached to others. Whereas in the Bible, for example, in the New Testament, we have in the Gospel of Matthew, where it says that go and baptize all nations in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And maybe perhaps in Islam as well, there's, obviously I come from a Muslim background, and my knowledge of Islam tells me that, yes, there is probably this zeal for finding converts as well. Because and just like Christianity itself, it's a very proselytizing faith. And something interesting about Judaism is that it's more of an ethno-religious identity, and so they don't actively look for converts. But if anybody does wish to convert, they do welcome it, even if it is albeit very in small amounts. So tell me something about the word Hindu itself, Dilip ji. So as far as my knowledge goes, I believe that maybe the correct terminology would be Sanatan Dharma, and perhaps Hindu is sort of like a misnomer because it refers to the people who live east of the Indus River. Maybe you can help shed some light on that. Yeah.
Hinduism gets very confusing for Abrahamic to understand. It's a religion of liberty, I would say, liberty and freedom. I can pray to whoever God I want to. The fundamental Hindu concept of God, who is God, is the major difference. If I say namaste, what I am saying, I'm explaining everything there. And Hinduism is not a monotheist religion. Hinduism is not a polytheist religion. But Hinduism is different. When you say I'm a monotheist, meaning God is there, I'm here. Two entities. Hinduism, all one. We are the God. Who is this person? You will say, well, that's Dilip. If I die, my dead body is sitting there. And same question asked to you, Omar, that who is this? You will say that was Dilip. Then what happened to Dilip? So the Dilip or who I am is not me, not my ears, eyes, and all that, but my soul, Atma. Atma is the right word. And that's a part of that God. So I'm a divine person. Then you may ask me that why then that rapist, murderer how can that be a divine person? Yes,
Right.
that person is divine, except he forgot his divinity. Society's job is not to condemn him, but to bring realize him his inner divinity and bring him out back to the society. And so in that concept, if you see that when Hindus see the Muslims or Christians or in interfaith love relationships, they don't see we are all same. You have books, I have my books and all that. And there is in a way, it's a truly pluralistic mindset. And Hindus will not have problem raising their children in two faiths, Hindus one day to mandir and other day to mosque, or to one day to Christians church and all that. They will not have that problem. And I have seen on and all in most cases. Except as soon as the other side realized that, oh my God, you cannot go to mandir anymore because now you are Muslims. And it says, wait, what happened? I'm respecting yours. How come you don't respect mine?
Right.
So Hindus are creating an issue for Abrahamic in love relationship because they are fooling them. They're confusing them. When a Muslim gets in love relation with a Hindu and they start taking a lot of interest in Islam and they start liking, wow, I love, it's really great. I have one example in my book and it's one of the girl in love relation. You can read that one. And she was in love relation with a Muslim, and the Muslim says now it's Ramadan is coming, and you have to, since you love me, you have to keep rosa. So she fasted every time, and she performed namaz. And no doubt, she closed her doors and performed the namaz. So she did the rosas for her lover, and he was so happy and excited that wow, now you are converting to Islam. He thought. And a month later, she had her birthday. So she says, "Why don't you come on to my mandir and we have a puja plan?"
Mm.
And he says, "No, no, no, no. Now you are Muslim. You cannot have that puja." And she freaked out. Wait, I did whole month. I did
Mm.
this kept the rosa for you, and did gone through so much pain and trouble. Why can't you come to my mandir for my puja?
Mhm.
Point is this mindset, the Abrahamic mindset of exclusivity. Hindus cannot comprehend. It's
Right.
beyond their comprehension. I mean, I'm talking about layman Hindus. They just never
Mm.
taught about what it means to be baptized.
Right. Yeah.
And even today, no Abrahamic will agree, even including our best friend Mike Muhammad Gauss. Recently, he said that, well, we should respect each other, and the child has to make up their what religion child will follow has to be make up. It has to be make up one or other mind.
Mm.
That's not true pluralistic mindset. Mindset is what I'm proposing. Child should be raised in both the faiths.
Okay.
If you want,
Yeah.
and my true message, bottom line message is equality, 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 equality. 50-50,
Mm.
everything is equality.
Right.
If you follow this equality rule, at least in today's world, in
Mm.
2025, when you are both professionals and intelligence and not depending on each other's,
Mm.
unless there is a true equality, true respect for each other, everything gets split in two. You both read Quran and you read Gita side
Mm.
by side, to children sitting next to each other. One day to take to mosque, another day to mandir, and spend monies, give 50-50 to this one.
Okay.
It's not going to work. And if you don't follow equality, and if you start dominating other parties, it may go okay for 2-5 years. Ultimately, it will be a
Mhm.
mess.
Indeed. And I want to stick with what you've just said, Dilip ji. And I think it's very interesting that obviously our very good friend, Dr. Mike Muhammad Gauss, has this particular reading. And you believe, which is that the child should come to a certain age, and then after which he or she should be able to pick and choose his or her religion. And you're of the opinion that both, if you have two different sets of parents from two different religions, then you should be, raised in both faiths and give equal importance to both. So, have I understood that correctly? Yes.
100%. I
Okay.
am clear of strong opinion. I recommend all of them
Right.
interfaith dating person.
Hmm.
Do not baptize. Do not take Shahadat oath, religious labeling. Keep the religious. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend people who are with the faith and all that. But for outsiders, again, it's the same thing. Hindus, I also use the Namaskara,
Hmm.
that if you are in love relationship, if your spouse has a problem of Namaskara, then keep
Hmm.
that particular ritual out of the way.
Okay.
Everything has to be
Hmm.
50-50.
Right.
And when you baptize, that's not 50-50. That's 100 0 right away. Same
Hmm.
thing once you take Shahadat. At least in Hindu's mind, Shahadat doesn't mean, I mean, I'm 50% you. But in Muslim mind, you know it well that
Hmm.
once you take Shahadat, you have to give up your Ramas and Krishna.
Hmm.
So Hindus has to learn to uh, be uh, keep on insisting teach the Abrahamic that yes, child can be raised into faiths.
Okay.
No religious labeling,
Right.
teaching from both these things, and age
Hmm.
18 or 21, when the child is mature,
Hmm.
could make a decision.
Could make a
And the best
decision. Yeah.
example I have put
Yeah.
it in my book is Barack Obama.
Hmm.
Father was Muslim, mother
Yes.
was Christian,
Christian. Yes.
and he was not baptized. He was raised, exposed to both of them in
Hmm.
Malaysia and America. And ultimately, he made his own decision in college. And he's not a confused person. So that's the best example.
Indeed, and that's a wonderful example of the former President Barack Obama, who obviously is a child of mixed race and mixed religions. And yes, I believe that that's an excellent example. And in fact, I just want to talk a little bit about my own experiences in Bangladesh. We come from a very monolithic country, as you know. 98% of our people are ethnic Bengalis, and the 2% that live, who are non-Bengalis, They also tend to have diverse backgrounds, mostly Christian as well as Buddhist. And the Hindu population back home is probably about 14 million, whereas the Muslim population is much, much larger. So for me, as a student of religion, this is all very interesting because I did not grow up in an environment where we had the diversity of peoples and religions like you do in India, or even like we do here in the United States. So it was very, very different. So it is interesting that the book's primary audience, as I can understand from the writing, is for those young people who are trying to, who just very innocently fell in love with each other. And yet they're also having to navigate, they've stumbled onto a world which they don't have enough knowledge about. So you are definitely filling in a gap for those young people as a guide to help them understand, okay, so you can go ahead with this, but these are the challenges you may face. But if you navigate it properly, you may end up with something very successful. I believe that was the basic intention behind writing both the books. Have I got that right?
Correct. This book is written for some or all the 1,300 youths I consulted. They are maybe 22, 25 or something like that. They are in college, they get in relation, rara. And what I have noticed that they have so much misconception about the reality of life. They just in college, though, when you are dating, have no clear idea what your imam will say, what rabbi will say, what Hindu parents will get on to it. And as soon as the marriage, it gets so much, and I've gone through so many pain and suffering of youths, and many of them depressed, and they want to talk about suicides. And again, these things are never in public domain and never get documented.
Right.
And the problem is the misconception. And what I'm trying to do is just go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You answer, look at those ones, sit down, head on, and then this is your agreement, understanding, and then run by with these parents and run by with that parents. And if both the parents are agreed, I'm sure it will be wonderful, wonderful marriage of equality and happiness, everlasting forever. But unfortunately, you will realize that, first of all, you will not agree to each other. As soon as you present to parents, oh my God, parents will start fighting. And so instead of shoving the problem away till we'll face the problem when it comes, I recommend that bring all the problems upfront. It will be very hard for you because you are in love relationships. Love is so sensitive. And you don't want to bring up all those difficult questions that if I die, am I going to be cremated or burial? I mean, you don't talk like that. Fortunately, these are the reality of life. And if you go through this book, that this $20 what you invest will save so much aggravations in life. And you have to keep in mind that whatever you agreed has a clear consequences. Let's say you married 10 years down the road, you have 3 children, and now you are divorced. You are fighting with each other for child custody, and you are in front of court. And it's an American judge who has no reason to be partial to Hindu-Muslim marriage. But the judge will look at, okay, what is the agreement? And you say, yes, Hindu party has taken Shahada. Just, that means you both are Muslims, and this is a Muslim-Muslim marriage. Children should be raised Muslim, no question asked. Children custody should be only on Muslim side. And Hindu says, no. That's not what I'm still a Hindu. Judge says, no, you took Shahada. That's it, clear, done deal. And so point is, you don't realize what you're agreeing to it. And that's why if you read the book, read it very objectively.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's a very good point because the nikah, as you mentioned, is the Hindu-Muslim marriage ceremony contract. It is a contract. And in fact, I will say something very interesting that even when my wife and I got married, when we did the nikah as well between the two of us, and we both come from Muslim backgrounds, she made sure that everything that she wanted to put in the nikah nama was by her own hand, as in she made sure that whatever she wanted, was put in there, and I just sort of just agreed to it. So what you say is absolutely right, that even for a mixed religious couple, the girl or the boy, they both have to know what they are getting into. And for the protection of the girl, she must know, if the boy is Muslim and the girl is Hindu or from another background, when if and when they ever try to do a nikah, they definitely have, the girl has to know what she's getting into, irrespective of the background that she comes from. I want to
Even
also,
before
yeah.
that, the thing is, before Islamic Nikah, I talked to almost 5 imams in San Francisco Bay Area, and all of them told me clearly that for Nikah, you must convert, have a Sahadat, and that means you cannot have a Hindu wedding. So Nikah, religious conversion is a must. You have to be 100% Hindu Muslims, and it will be only marriage of Muslim.
Okay.
They will not, the
They will
concept
not do
of
a,
Hindu
yeah.
Muslim marriage does not exist.
Indeed, and that's also you make another very interesting point, Dilipji, because and you also mentioned it in the book that everything has to be read in context. And so at the time that for example, the Quranic revelation appeared to the Prophet Muhammad, the Muslims were a minority at the time, and so perhaps the idea was that when you have girls from the Meccan clan coming over to the Muslim side, he or she still retains her original religion, whether it's Judaism or Christianity, because it's not affecting the community in any way. But because it was a patriarchal society, if a man, for example, were to go over to the other side, they would definitely lose one kind of resource. But that's in the context of the 7th century in Arabia. But today, when we have about 2 billion Muslims, so this is the idea, the original idea behind the verse is no longer applicable, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, because there's no danger, or there's no, actually, it's not going to reduce the number of Muslims in the world today, etc. But that's a very scholarly discussion, and I'm glad that you've touched upon this point as well, because we're extrapolating from a different time period, and we're trying to see how it fits into our milieu in the 21st century. So that's something that I really hope that the scholars can come to a final understanding, and then trickle down effect would also come to the imams and all the others who are engaged in the holy aspects of their profession. But I also want to let's come to another part of the book, Dilipji, and you make a interesting term in the book, which some might say is also a bit controversial. You use the term love jihad. Please help us understand exactly what we mean by this particular term.
I know this is a very sensitive subject. There is the use of the term and there is the misuse of the term. The politicians use this for their vote power, and that is wrong. Further, I tell Hindu parents that when your daughter or son comes and tell I'm in love relation with a Muslim, don't bring up this love jihad word that, oh my God, he may be a love jihadi. Because your son or daughter is in love relationship, they care for the other party and they know it's a nice person. And as soon as you use this derogatory term for the one they are in love relationship, it will really backfire on you. Do not use this word. So I'm definitely very careful using this word. Now, when to use the term? Again, if I am in an academic debate, scholarly discussions and all that, this is not the word to use. Ideal word to use is love proselytism, because as soon as you say love jihad, I mean, right away, you are, I mean, you are out to defame others. You try to make other feel bad. When is the right place to use it? You have to keep in mind that I am using it for, again, people who are 20 to 25 in love relationships. They don't have any theological knowledge. They know the street terms, and love jihad is one of the street terms. And I am reading, let me read it from the book, what I am quoting it.
Of course.
The love jihad is used in a situation when a Muslim falls in love with a Hindu under the guise of true unconditional love, but later imposed Shahadat, and that is the religious conversion of Hindu to Islam. If that goal of conversion, is not achieved, the Muslim will walk away cold-heartedly from the relationship. So you are in love relationships, and then you ask for religious conversion. Hindu party does not have any clue about it, and then ask for religious conversion, and that is not fair. Further, in individual relationship, I consult this way that, okay, Hindu party comes, for example, came and they says, okay, is the other party is a Quran believer? And then the other party says, yes, the other party is a Quran believer. Well, that's great. They are Muslims. They're supposed to believe in Quran. Nothing wrong with it. Then the Hindu party will say, well, they want me to convert because Quran 221 says that Muslim can only marry Muslims. You cannot marry to a kafir. And Hindus are not a believer, meaning Hindus are kafir. That's their interpretation. And that's why you have to convert to Islam for Islamic nikah.
Yeah.
Now, Quran 24:30 also says that you cannot be, and Zakir Naik has beautifully described that Muslim cannot fall in any romantic relationship. When Muslims see other boy or girl, they're supposed to lower their gaze and walk away from it. If that is the case, why this party is in love relations, romantic relations, love relationship for 1 to 10 years? And now when it comes to marriage, they says, please convert because of Quran. So meaning, my problem is the picking and choosing from Quran, ignoring 24:30, but following 221. At that time, the Hindu party should use this, the knee-jerk reaction. And you should say that, wait, why you did not told me all those when we are having such a romantic time all those years? Why are you asking? Are you a love jihadi or what? You know, when you use it this way at that time, immediately it will give a clearly reaction to the other party, realize that, oh my God, no, I am in a wrong mode. And there are many other options available. You don't have to convert. And they will find out ultimately what is right for them. So my point is, yes, that term, you can use it, misuse it. It's all depend what situation. And that's what I have summarized in my book. As a matter of fact, I wrote this article because Maha El Galini, she's Islamic Network Group's head. She wrote me that, Dilip, I have a problem with your use of the word love jihad in my thing. And in reply to her, that's why I wrote this article for it.
Indeed. And I have to confess, Dilip ji, I too was feeling a little uncomfortable with the term because it's such a loaded term and it has so many negative connotations to it. But I think that after you've explained it, that maybe love proselytization would be a alternative fit, and the fact that people can misuse the word. So yes, I'm so glad to hear that.
But at the same token, I would say that if you are in love relationships for 1 to 10 years and you have invested so much, and all of a sudden the other party flipped the coin and then changed the whole dynamic.
Indeed.
Yes, you have to use the word which really hits them.
Fair enough.
This is the word is very appropriate in that situation.
Yeah, so fair enough. So in other words, I believe the underlying thing that you are trying to say here is that the boy should not dupe the girl in such a way that he promises one thing and then suddenly tries to pivot and take her in an alternative direction. So there has to be transparency right from the beginning.
Correct.
And in fact, it wouldn't even take somebody like Dr. Zakir Naik to even say it. I mean, I think that most conservative views would frown upon, what we call love relationships, but at the same time we're living in a world where men and women are young people are obviously interacting a lot with each other, and no one can predict who will fall in love with who, but within reasonable bounds, I suppose it's a very tricky situation for a lot of young people to try and navigate
I would say that on Hindu side, they have to stop being pluralist. It's not that I have 100 gods, I'm accepting one more god. they have to understand that this is the exclusive mindset, meaning you are giving up what you are. On the Islam side and the Christianity side, they have to also educate their youths that you have to make up your mind. You cannot start dating and all that because that's against Quran. And are you with Quran or you're not Quran? You have to make up your mind way beforehand because you cannot have both ways.
Yeah, and I agree with you in the sense that the Abrahamic faiths they are exclusive when it comes to their worship of the one God, which they share in common. I agree with you on that. In terms of their inclusiveness, I will also say that this is also like an internal debate within the three faiths. I'm sure that you will have, for example, a diversity of views when it comes to the conservatives versus the liberals. I am personally extremely liberal when it comes to my views, and this is as a result of my knowledge of religion. If you asked me about 20 years back, what were my views, I would have probably said that my zeal was very high, but my knowledge was very low. Now, with time, the more knowledge I gain, the more liberal I've become, because I understand that there is something within these messages which talks about the common humanity, which sometimes gets lost because we as human beings, or at least within the worldwide Muslim community, sometimes we make things more complicated than it needs to be. And in fact, I'll throw one more thing out there, that when I spoke to my Jewish friends or the Jewish rabbis, and I asked them that, okay, do I need to convert to Judaism in order to achieve salvation? They would always say that no, just Judaism recognizes anybody who keeps the 7 laws of Noah. And so they call it the Noahide religion, which is like a universal religion where you have, certain parameters, but one of them being, setting up scales of justice, which means that you must strive towards having a just society. And I think that, it's interesting that we are coming across these religions that we have all inherited from our forefathers, and we are trying to make sense of it. And especially the Hindu-Muslim dynamic is something that we must really address and in fact help guide young people as well as maybe some elders as well, who may not have as much knowledge about both the faiths. I know that I personally didn't have as much knowledge about Hinduism growing up, even and regrettably so, because even growing up in Bangladesh right next to India, I do feel bad sometimes that how come I don't know enough about this amazing faith that is part of our region.